Imagine waking up one morning in medieval Europe and discovering that nobody is working. No blacksmith, no baker, no farmers in the fields, no merchants in the markets. Not because of a war, not because of a plague, but because everyone decided, almost at the same time, to stop. This is not a metaphor. In the late Middle Ages, Europe experienced moments when entire communities froze in place not by order of kings, but by collective fear. To understand why, we have to step into a world where rumors were more powerful than newspapers, and imagination was stronger than science. In the 14th century, Europe was traumatized. The Black Death had killed millions. Wars had devastated regions. Natural disasters felt like divine punishment. People believed the world was constantly on the verge of collapse. And in such a world, one strange idea could spread like wildfire. Sometimes it started with a prophecy. A wandering preacher would arrive in a town and announce that the end of the world was near. Sometimes it started with a rumor. A traveler claimed that a mysterious sign had appeared in the sky. Sometimes it started with something even smaller. A child claimed to have seen an angel or a demon. Within days, entire towns were convinced that catastrophe was imminent. And when people believed the end was coming, they stopped caring about everyday life. Why harvest crops if the world ends tomorrow? Why forge weapons if God is about to judge humanity? Why pay taxes if eternity is around the corner? So people waited. Markets emptied. Workshops closed. Fields were left untouched. In some regions, chronicles described towns that looked as if time itself had stopped. But here's the strangest part. These medieval strikes were not organized protests. They were spontaneous psychological chain reactions. No leader, no plan, just collective belief. And sometimes, the panic escalated. Groups of people would gather in public squares, praying loudly, confessing sins, or accusing neighbors of witchcraft. In extreme cases, entire communities joined bizarre rituals, hoping to appease God or fate. From a modern perspective, it sounds irrational, but psychologically, it makes perfect sense. When uncertainty becomes unbearable, humans prefer dramatic meaning over boring reality, even if that meaning is terrifying. Eventually, nothing happened. No apocalypse, no divine judgment, no cosmic disaster. Slowly, people returned to work. Blacksmiths reopened their workshops. Farmers returned to fields. Merchants reopened markets. And life continued as if nothing had happened. But history rarely remembers these moments. We talk about wars and kings. We talk about plagues and revolutions. We almost never talk about the days when Europe simply stopped. Yet these forgotten episodes reveal something uncomfortable. The greatest force in history is not always armies or technology. Sometimes it is imagination. And if millions of people believe the same story at the same time, reality itself can pause, which raises a disturbing question. If medieval Europe could stop because of a rumor, what would happen if the same thing occurred today?